Here's a fact for you. The 4 provinces in Canada that have provinces are all natural resource provinces, including Newfoundland and Labrador. And joining us now is the Minister of Natural Resources from that great province, Jerome. Hey, welcome to the show.
Nice to be here.
Now, I think when a lot of people think of oil and gas, they think of Alberta, maybe Saskatchewan and BC, but these days, your province is just a rollicking oil and gas town, ain't it?
Yeah, oil has transformed our economy. We only started producing oil with Hibernia in 1997, but right now the province is a hotbed of economic activity, and oil has made the difference.
Now, is it just offshore oil, or is it the Newfoundlanders who are working, sometimes commuting, to the oil sands, or is it a bit of both?
Actually, it is a bit of both. We had so many of our people go to Alberta and work in the oil sands and bring that money home that had a significant impact on our economy. But also, we are producing 32% of Canada's light crude at present. We currently have 3 standalone oil producing fields, and the 4th field, Hebron, an $8.5 billion development, will start producing oil in 2017.
Well, that's not too far away. You know, I bet you're also, these Newfoundlanders who go to work in Alberta, they're not just earning money, but they're gaining expertise and technological experience. I bet some of those guys are coming back to help develop the local oil patch. Is that happening?
Well, Alberta's done a good job of keeping them there. They're very high wages and good money. But what we need in our province is a period of work that will start, for example, with the Hebron development, then move into Muskrat Falls, so that they have 3 to 4 years of work, and then they'll certainly look at coming home.
Well, tell me a little bit about Muskrat Falls. We had announcements just last week for Westerners and folks even here in Toronto who haven't been following it closely. What is it?
Muskrat Falls is an 820 megawatt hydro development on the lower Churchill River that we are developing right now for our own domestic use and for export to Nova Scotia. It'll actually involve building a transmission line from Muskrat Falls to the island of Newfoundland and Labrador, and then a subsea crossing to Nova Scotia.
Huh. Well, you won't have Quebec in the way this time.
Well, that's obviously escaping the geographical stranglehold of Quebec has been a significant issue.
You know, don't joke though, because Alberta has the same problem trying to get our oil, our energy to market, and you got BC Premier Christy Clark wanting to have a little shakedown of what's going through. I think it's important that Newfoundland get access to world markets too. Let me ask you this: there's a new cycle. You're talking about transforming the economy, but I don't think it's just the economy in Newfoundland that's being transformed. There's something that changes when a province has a surplus, when a province can keep its young men home, when a province, I was out in Twillingate, and there's a new $60,000 SUV parked out front. It's not from the cod. And I think there's a psychology that comes from winning on your own terms in your own turf. Has Newfoundland and Labrador changed psychologically, politically, personality-wise because of oil?
Absolutely. What happened from the time we entered Confederation and being a have-not province, we were seen as Canada's poor cousins, but we're a very well-educated people, and what's happened now is that we have this confidence in ourselves. We have this confidence that we can build our own projects and we can man our own projects. Out of 3,500 people working in the offshore at present, 88% of them are Newfoundlanders and Labradorians. So there is a newfound confidence, a newfound belief in ourselves, but really what it is that we've taken advantage of the opportunity that our forefathers might not have had. It began with Danny Williams, and it continues with Premier Cathy Dunderdale, and the sky is the limit as far as we're concerned.
Now, I know St. John's housing prices have raised. Maybe not everyone's thrilled with that, but that's a sign of a strong economy. You mentioned Alberta holds on to expats pretty good, but are you seeing it, if not a return of Newfoundlanders, are you at least seeing fewer people graduate and then fleeing down the road?
Well, what we're seeing again is a transformation of our whole economy, and that more young people now are entering the trades. But throughout this country, we need tradespeople. Saskatchewan, Alberta, the story is the same. So we want our people to stay home. We want them to live in our province. And I can remember when I entered politics rather naively in 2007, I stated at the time, we wanted to have an impact as a government where our children could choose whether or not to leave our province, and I think we're at that stage right now.
You know, a lot of people go to university, but they get what I call junk degrees: sociology, peace studies, vegetarian studies. You know, they rack up 20, 30, 40 grand in debt, and they have a useless degree, whereas the trades, you've been talking about the trades, I think there's a sort of a snobbery against trades. People look down their nose on trades, but the trades are the jobs we need and the trades are the ones that pay better than the sociology grad serving coffee at Starbucks. Is there a shortage of workers in Newfoundland, or are you sopping them up?
No, there's certainly a shortage of workers, but tradespeople have always been valued in our society.
I think more in Newfoundland than in the rest of the country,
We're a hard-working society.
It's a rock out there. You got to work hard.
All my friends who I graduated high school with in the late 70s, I was the only one of my 20 friends who went to university. But what we're seeing now is that the trades is an example of how you can make money, and they're making lots of money. It's a great job.
Well, I'm pleased to hear that. I think that the trades don't get enough social respect in Canada. I got one last question for you. It's such a pleasure to see Newfoundland fill out its suit, if you know what I mean. Take its proper place and be a have province. I wonder if there's something you can say to our friends in Quebec who have domestic oil and gas. They got shale gas, they've got some offshore oil of their own, but I think that they're so against it for whatever reason. I think maybe they're sort of, I don't know, they're trapped in their equalization mode or something. What message would you say to a Quebecer, not to the politicians, but to normal Quebecers, to say, look, Newfoundland was there, and now look at us, you can do it too? Is that a message that you think you're in a position to maybe just encourage Quebecers to join the oil and gas revolution?
There are so many similarities between the people of Quebec and the people of Newfoundland and Labrador. There's the love of culture, there's the importance of culture, the importance of our heritage, the importance of humor, history, and at this point in Canada, we all have to work together. One of the things from our perspective as a province, it allows us now to give back to the rest of this country. We want nothing more than to work with Quebec. So it's time perhaps for everyone to put their political differences together, look at what's best for the country, and that's really where we all have to be in this great country called Canada.
Well, Jerome Kennedy, what a pleasure to talk to you. Thanks for joining us
Thank you
today.
very much. It's nice to be here.
Thank you.